Welcome, everybody, to Who's Your Band? I am Jeffrey Paul. I am joined by my co-host, Sean Morton. How are you today, Sean?
You know, Jeff, 4.5 months of dental work finally done today.
Hey, congrats. So this should be a good day.
It should be a good day. Yes, it should be a good day. And, providing I don't fall and smash my face on a curb and have to lose like 7 of them, I think I'm good today.
All right, well, don't do that. Maybe
I
you
try
should
not to.
wear a mouth guard. Wear a football helmet.
I usually do wear a helmet a lot of times, but that was only when I was a kid on the bus.
Maybe wear one as an adult, wear water wings, just to be safe.
I might have to do that.
Okay. Well, listen, last week we had a very good episode where we listened 6 of our favorite songs of the 60s. And I put a little note out there on social media, and people chimed in. So here, I just wanted to just follow up from last week and before we get on to this week's topic. So I asked people, what are your favorite songs from the 60s? And Krista Comito chimes in White Rabbit, which is a good, it's a good suggestion. Little Jefferson Airplane. Robert Steven chimes in with California Dreamin'. I don't know how we didn't put that on our list. Born to Be Wild, that's another good one. A Change Is Gonna Come. One I was going to put on, A Whitest Shade of Pale. You know that song, John?
Yeah, Paul Harem.
Yeah, fantastic song. So
Not bad.
No, All Along the Watchtower. I'm assuming doing Hendrix and Light My Fire. Not a big Doors fan. How about you?
Me either. We agree on that.
Okay. Stephen Mark Batcher chimes in with Painted Black. You know that song?
Painted Black? Yeah, I know Painted Black, Jeff.
Okay. He also with California Dreamin'. Light My Fire, Jose Feliciano. My Norwegian Wood, Beatles. House of the Rising Sun. That's a very good one.
Good song, yeah. Not top 6, but good song.
Matt Anthony chimes in with Nights in White Satin. As I've gotten older, I've learned to like that song.
The Moody Blues?
Yeah.
You make me moody and give me the blues.
I wish you were going over once more of dental work. Both Sides Now, Joni Mitchell.
What?
You don't know that song?
No.
I've seen both sides now, and I've seen. You don't know that song?
No, but go do a little more. Maybe I can hit the chorus.
You would hate it. Dazed and Confused. Okay. With a little help of my friends, Joe Cocker. Hard to Handle, Otis Redding.
That's a good one. Not top 6, but it has to be mentioned. But that's a good one.
Yeah, and Signed, Sealed, Delivered, Stevie Wonder. That's a good one.
Listen, Stevie's the GOAT. That's all it is. Stevie is
really, the GOAT. Kerry Laws chime in and tell me what you think her influences are here. Yesterday, 8 Days a Week, Saw Her Standing There, Satisfaction, Brown Sugar, Jumping Jack Flesh.
I think she's definitely a Rush fan.
I saw Rush the other night. Holy shit, was that amazing?
Yeah. I had to wash my hair or I would have been there.
And then I also, the last one I had, Anthony Michael Mamone chimed in with a guy who I saw the other night on Friday night, Gary Puckett, the Union Gap, Woman.
Gary Puckett. Not my favorite Puckett. You know who my favorite Puckett is?
Kirby.
He's dead. He's dead.
But you know Gary Puckett in the Union Gap?
Of course. Yeah, I know.
Okay, good. So you have a little appreciation for some of the older stuff. That was some interesting. Let's see, doing these lists are almost impossible. I think tonight was pretty hard too.
It was a hard one too. Yeah, I mean, I want to backpedal on one thing though. You saw Rush. I saw Extreme, Tesla, and Mötley Crüe.
Oh, you went on Friday.
Extreme was phenomenal. Tesla was very good. Jeff Keith's voice little screechier than normal, but still good.
Did he do stuff hold on? Did he do stuff off of the new album, which is all cover songs?
No,
it's like a tribute album.
No, they didn't do that. They did Signs, obviously, but
no. But he did off the new one. It just came out like a month ago.
Yeah, no, nothing. It was all original stuff. And Mötley Crüe definitely put the nail in the coffin that I never have to see them again.
Is that your first time seeing them?
It's my 11th time seeing them. They
No,
were
wait.
they were brutal.
Uh,
Vince Neil was not only lip syncing, but he was they would definitely did an audio track from an old soundboard show from like 25 years ago, because there's no way he could sound that good from a year and a half ago when I saw him the last time, and they were bad then. And Nicky's not even playing anymore. He's just completely just hitting his bass, and there's no notes coming out.
anything live from them?
What's that?
Is anything live from them?
Yeah, John Five's great. Tommy's bashing the shit out of it. I mean, the set list they played was a really good set list. They actually did songs from every single album except for like the self-titled and the Rose Tattoo album. They did 2 songs from every album, and the set list was really good. It just, man, 2 songs in, I was ready to go.
So did you stay for probably my favorite song?
Stayed to the end. Yeah, I stayed to the end.
That's a good one. I heard they didn't do Saints of Los Angeles, which was
I love that song. They didn't do anything from that album, actually. Now that I think about it, they did not. It was all the old albums they did the stuff from. But yeah, short set list too, an hour and a half, and they had a lot of videos in between too. Not a good show.
I mean, at least you got to see the opening act. So
all about the extreme. I could have left after that. Yep, they were that good.
How'd they do Modern Day Cowboy?
They opened with it.
Nice.
Yeah, they opened with it. Really, really solid.
And
I'll go see Tesla again.
were people in the room for Extreme?
Yeah, it was about you gotta remember they opened the parking lots early. Parking lots opened at 3. So like I got there and the handicap section was completely fucking full. And I'm like, and then my friend says, well, yeah, because we're all fucking old and everybody's handicapped. I said, that's great.
What time did they go
on? Show started at 6:30 on the dot. So Extreme played for like 40 minutes, Tesla about 45, and Mötley Crüe for an hour and a half. But honest to God, could have left after Tesla without having an issue.
Wow. Anyway, you mentioned Signs.
Yes.
And wait, I think that's a 70s song.
Yes,
right?
it is.
Okay.
5-man electric band.
Well, that's what we're doing today. We're going to count down 7 of our favorite songs from the 70s. And then I put it on social media, and I got a list from people saying, well, we'll close with that. So, Sean, why don't you give me a first song of the 70s? What's the song?
This is a mix of what I think is the best and what is the most popular. A couple songs that I love in here. I'm going to start with my personal opinion. I Will Die on This Hill. Top 5, if not the best rock and roll song of all time. Came out in the 70s, and I'm going with Mississippi Queen by Mountain.
Wow, that's a great way to start this list.
It is one of my all-time favorite songs. It's a song that means a lot to me. I have a lot of connection with that song. One of the reasons I fell in love with music was because of this song. My uncle used to beat this.
West.
Yeah, oh my God, Felix Pappalardi, unbelievable 3-piece band. It's been covered a million times, but for me, I think when I hear 70s rock, that's the song that always comes to mind for me.
And that's a real good cowbell song.
Yep. Oh, big time.
Yeah, that and Nantucket Sleigh Ride are 2 of my favorite songs by Mountain.
I love them. Absolutely love them. So I definitely went with that. That had to go on my list. That was the first song I put on.
I got to say, I did not see that coming. So very well done. Surprised off the bat. Here's one I think may get overlooked a little bit, but I think it's almost a quintessential song of the 70s. And it came out in 71. Don McLean, American Pie.
Yeah.
It's about in February 3rd, which happens to be my birthday, but February 3rd, 1959, Buddy Holly, Richie Valens, the Big Bopper, they were all supposed to go on a plane, and Don, they go on this plane, and, it's the day the music died. These 3 great talented musicians died in a plane crash. Don McLean was 13 years old when that happened, and he was delivering newspapers, and that was one of the headlines. And it really affected him, and it always stayed with him. And when he becomes a young songwriter, it's one of the first songs he wrote. When they released the song was 8 minutes and 36 seconds, and it was released as an A and B side. And I remember having it.
Really?
Yeah, it would fade out, and then you had to flip it over and play the B side to hear the rest of the song. And there's some pretty cool references in it, and some hidden things. Like one of like the argued lines is a reference about the jester, and the jester is referring to Bob Dylan, and the king is referred to as Elvis Presley, and how the jester is taking down the king, which is Elvis Presley. And I'll tell you something. I don't know if you would, if anyone out there could actually, see this, but I was a dumb kid. And
No,
yeah, I mean, Sean, I was really dumb. And
no.
yeah, so my friend, I mean, I was a kid, maybe it was in third grade or something, and my friend Danny Cicerelli, who was a little older than me, said his sister wrote that song, and I believed him.
As a dumb kid, I tried to sell forged Michael Jackson signatures. Um, at like 7 years old, I was signing it with my own handwriting as Michael Jackson, but I spelled Michael wrong.
You're a creep.
Always moving and shaking, Jeff. Always
Yeah.
moving and shaking.
What's your number two song?
So these are in no order, by the way.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, no order. When I think of the list that we're doing, what I'm trying to do is, if you tell me 6 for the 67, I'm trying to pick 7 artists who automatically come to my mind with that decade. So for me, I went one of my favorite bands who I really I'm dying to see one of the people from. It's on my bucket is CCR,
Oh yeah,
and I went with Have You Ever Seen the Rain?
great song, mate.
I literally could have picked one of 11 songs to put on this list.
Agreed.
You know,
Agreed.
they're just. I think they're another band that really does not get the credit that they deserve. I think you hear bands like Zeppelin and Sabbath and all these really hard rock and metal band. CCR may be pound for pound the biggest hit band in the rock genre in the 70s.
They have you never seen John Fogerty?
I've never seen him. No, I tried to go. I think it was a couple years ago, and I just didn't go. And he is definitely on my list to see because I mean I've heard some stuff of him playing recently. He's like 81 years old, and he sounds exactly the same.
I've seen Fogerty sometimes. I I left them off my list, which was incredibly hard to do. Um, but it's like going to see John Mellencamp. It's
Okay.
one classic song after the other, and after every song that's like, oh, this is a great one. Oh,
Yeah.
this is another great one. Like when you said, "Have you ever seen the rain?" I love it, but then I remember him opening up with "Down on the Bayou," which is one of my all-time favorite songs, and you just forget about these songs.
Yeah, it's one of your favorite songs. You don't even know the song's name. It's not Down by the Bayou. It's Born on the Bayou.
Going on the Bayou, that's it.
Yeah, it's one of your favorites. What's
Yeah.
your next one?
Okay. My next one is I don't know if you would have seen this one coming from me. 1978. Listen, if we're going to pick not only artists of the 70s, I think you have to go with genres of the 70s too. And you have to go, I think, disco. And I think one of the biggest disco songs, if not the biggest, was I Will Survive.
I don't think it's a bad pick, Jeff. I mean, I didn't go all rock either, so I think that's a good pick. We gotta branch out a little bit.
I want to branch out a little bit. Now, picture me as a kid, and I'm wearing silk Kiana shirts with a scarf around my neck. Okay, this is like my disco phase. I was maybe 11, 12 years old. The song itself, though, started out as a B-side. That was not the original. That was not supposed to be the song that was supposed to be released. The original song was called Substitute, and a Boston DJ played the flip side of Substitute, and people started calling and said this was amazing. Here's another little fun fact about this song. It was the only song ever in Grammy history to win Best Disco Song, and the reason for that is there was such a controversy because I think She Worked Hard for the Money and other disco songs that people said, hey, were just as good, that should have won. They eliminated the disco category after 1978.
So I mean, I'll jump on the train. Again, I'm not putting these in any order. So I also went with a kind of a disco song, and I think again another band that you hear. Well, for me, I think of the '70s. I think of the Bee Gees, and I went with the standard "Staying Alive" because of the movie, and I mean, you could have put "Night Fever," could have put "How Deep Is Your Love," but I think "Staying Alive." Every person in the world knows that song. To this day, it's one of the worst movies ever made, but it's one of the best movies ever made. On top of it, it's a horrible movie, but
It's a horrible, great movie.
exactly.
But not like Roadhouse.
I've never seen Roadhouse.
That's fucking insane.
Okay. Okay. So now, I'm gonna. This is totally off kilter. Okay. So 15 years ago, I did a roast, right, for Terry Funk, right, the wrestler,
was in Roadhouse.
right. So I got a little beef with Mick Foley over this joke, right? Mick was on the dais. Patrick Swayze had died like 3 months before, right? So I said, Terry, you're a great actor. You're an amazing wrestler, but you're a shitty actor. You were in Roadhouse with Patrick Swayze, who was a great actor. Terry, you're such a horrible actor that Patrick right now is a better actor than you are. Right?
I'm with it.
It got a roar. Terry left. Mick Foley went on MySpace and blasted me saying that I was making fun of pancreatic cancer.
He can never handle today's roast.
No. Anyway, that's my Roadhouse story.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, but you can't go wrong with anything by the Bee Gees. In the opening number, Staying Alive, the Bee Gees were just monsters. I'll get to them a little later on. But so I went with singer-songwriter. I went disco, and now I'm going to go a little punk. And I'm going to go The Clash, 1979, London Calling, which was, again, I remember that song coming out and just loving it. It was everywhere. An apocalyptic song. The title is a phrase that was used by the BBC during World War II. There are lyrics in there that kind of tells you it's an apocalyptic song. Nuclear era, but I have no fear. London is drowning, but I live by the river, which the river that he's referring to is Joe Strummer used to live by the Thames River.
Yes, River Thames.
And there was always speculation that during a nuclear attack or if there was any type of global war, this river would rise up and wipe out London. And that's what he's referring to in the song. Also, the album is a parody of the debut album of Elvis Presley.
Yep.
Yeah. So I love it. I mean, the song is great. It's a great song. It starts off with those hard it's just so 70s, and I think better than just about any punk song of the era, although there are lots of great Ramones songs as well, which I could have put on this list.
And in the UK by the Sex Pistols.
Could have gone there too. Listen, we could only pick 7. This was like such a hard list to do, but I would have felt bad if I would have omitted that. So I went with London Calling.
I'll go to your I'll counteract your singer-songwriter. Again, not my favorite song in the least bit. I actually really don't like this song, but I understand how monstrous this song really is. I went with Bridge Over Troubled Water by Paul Simon and Art Garfunkel.
Great and big song.
It's a huge song. I mean, and they were, I mean, probably the biggest songwriter duo in the 70s, right? I mean,
in the 60s, and then into 70s.
70s. I mean, you had your Beatles and your Stones and stuff, but I'm talking like folk duos. I mean, there was nobody bigger than them at that point. And again, it's just one of those sounds. Like, it's just one of those stereotypical sounds of the 70s that I associate with 70s music as Simon and Garfunkel.
Sean, I just saw last week Foreigner. Saw them last Sunday.
Okay.
And the one cover that they did was Bridge Over Troubled Water.
Really?
Yeah. It was weird placement in the set list as well. But like you said, it is like an iconic song of the 70s and spoke to a lot of people. You think about those concerts that they used to have in the 80s when Simon and Garfunkel would play in Central Park.
100,000 people.
100,000, close to 500,000 people.
Was it really?
Yeah, I worked on it.
Oh, I wouldn't know. I was in diapers.
Oh, it was insane. Um, all right. So for me, now I'm going to start doing a little bit of hard rock. And when we read other people's lists, everyone's going to give you Zeppelin, Stairway to Heaven.
Yeah.
I will not go Stairway to Heaven. It would
I did not either.
Okay. I went a different direction. I have to include Zeppelin, but I went Kashmir.
Dude, just that guitar line is one of the greatest guitar lines. And let me tell you, dude, to play that song, and you don't understand because you're not a guitar player, you got to go from the 3rd to the 7th fret. So your hands are literally stretched out. I have big hands. I can barely get my hands down from the 3rd to the 7th fret. It's the fucking notes that he plays in that song is just stupid. Absolutely.
I was watching a video of Jimmy Page showing Jack White and the Edge how to play that.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like kids. They're like me and you sitting there watching this guitar god show them how to play Kashmir. And that opening, that that was actually part of another song.
Yes, I can tell you what it was.
Was the end part of the song. And then he moved up to the beginning. You know what song he did it from?
Well, no. Did you know that riff was covered by a rapper in a very famous song too?
Oh, of course. I love that song. Diddy.
Yep.
Come with me, and Page plays on it.
Yep.
It was originally. It's not about Kashmir itself. Okay, the song was actually written in Morocco on a drive, and a plant was really wanted to call the song "Driving to Kashmir," and they just kind of shortened the title a little bit. But the rhythm of the song is what gives it its tension. Again, everyone gives the flowers to Stairway, but even Page and Plant said in multiple interviews that Kashmir was the superior song.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with that. Stairway is just the most popular, and it's an iconic song. It's an iconic song, but like if I never heard it again, I'd be completely fine.
See, I kind of disagree there because that guitar lead never gets old for me.
Yeah, no, I mean, I played that out so much, and in my my high school years when you find the older bands, like when I found Zeppelin and the Doors and Aerosmith, I beat the shit out of Stairway to Heaven, so I'm completely over it. But I went a different route. I went a little Americana rock. One of my favorites, to be honest, and equally as big in the 70s and 80s and 90s, I went with American Girl by Tom Petty.
Oh, it's my favorite Tom Petty song.
It's one of his best songs, I think.
By far my favorite Tom Petty song.
Yeah, it's a classic. I mean, it's just a feel-good. You can't not like this song.
That came out in the 70s, huh?
Yeah, it was 1979, 78 to 79 it came out.
Great song.
Yeah,
great
it's
song.
the quintessential Tom Petty song. I think any bar band covers this song. You know, a country band can cover it, a rock band can cover it. It's my epitome of Tom Petty, that song. Even though one of my favorites of all top 5 song is Free Fallin' by Tom Petty, but this still is the song that identifies him.
That song is the best version I've heard of it is on his live album Pack Up the Plantation Live, and it's complete with a horn section in it, and it just brings the sound together. Really, really a great song. I love it. That's one of my favorite all-time songs. I see, and that's the thing, leaving it off of a list like this. I guess I'm picking this next song only because as a kid, I remember hearing it and thinking, man, I've never heard a voice like this before. And the song came out in 73, but doesn't really become big until about 76. And it's Aerosmith's Dream On. It was the breakout hit for the band, written by Steven Tyler when he was a teenager. He was 14 years old when he wrote it, and he wrote it on a piano. And you're asking me, where does a 14-year-old get a piano? Well, interesting story with that too, Sean. Tyler found 4 bags of money by a hotel that was actually stolen mob money. And that's what
Really?
he, as a kid, yeah, that's what he wrote, uh, Dream On. Okay.
Oh
But
shit,
it,
never heard that.
so it's, yeah, so it's released in 73 and it only charts to about 59. But in 75, Sweet Emotion, Walk This Way, those two songs kind of take off. And their management, or it was either management or the record company, said, we're going to re release Dream On. And in 76, it climbs up the charts. It becomes a top 10. And it charts as high as number 6 on the Billboard Top 100. And just, again, just blows them up. So, but I had never heard a voice like that. That last part of him, singing "Dream On," it's still to me one of the greatest notes written by a singer, and I just never heard anything like it. And it was just like I remember waiting by my radio over and over again, just waiting to hear that song. I loved it.
It's one of the few songs that should never be covered.
Absolutely.
But I will tell you, one of my favorite bands is one of the only bands I've ever heard who can do that song justice. So if you listen to Blacktop Mojo, cover Dream On. That's the song that actually broke them. Matt Smith, to me, is the best rock singer that nobody knows about. And they've put out like 7 albums, and this band should be the biggest band on the planet. I don't understand how they're not. But their cover of Dream On might be one of the top 10 covers I've ever heard in my life.
I have to check that out. I don't know how a band like Dirty Honey is in a bigger band.
Yeah, exactly. Same kind of vibe too, but just pure rock. But all right, I got 2 more.
Yeah.
Again, another band I consider like a quintessential 70s band. I could have picked 6 or 7 songs off this one too. I went with the standard. I went with Hotel California by the Eagles. You don't approve?
Yeah, much like Act, very hack.
I just said it's not my favorite song, but it's a gigantic song.
It's
Hey, you know what? Fuck it. You know what? Scratch it. Rewind, remix. Here's what I'll do. I'll put the song that I took off the list. Okay.
Put that up.
Off a little bit. We're going country at this point now. Now that you poo-pooed my fucking
I poo-pooed it.
I will go with the greatest country song that has ever written. Was written in the 1970s by a man called George Jones, and it's called "He Stopped Loving Her Today." It is
Look to me on that.
It is the greatest country song ever written. It is the saddest country song ever written. It is the most covered country song, and I think it was the first one that was in. I think it was the first actual single that was inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame.
See, I thought you were going to go more with like maybe a Dolly Parton or even Willie Nelson.
Could have went Jolene. Could have went Jolene.
Huge.
A lot of Willie's very popular stuff came out towards like the early 80s too. So yeah, it is. It's a beautiful, beautiful song. It's a heartbreaking song, but it has to go. It had to go on my list at least.
I'm gonna have to check that out too. That I never heard. All right, so for me, again, another band that how you cannot leave them off your list in the 70s. And we're leaving. Trust me, I'm leaving lots of bands off.
Yeah, me too.
I'm telling you, I'm leaving off the Cars. I'm leaving off Boston. I'm leaving off Meatloaf. But I have to put this band in there. 75, Pink Floyd, Wish You Were Here, off the same title album. Acoustic, about missing a friend, founding member, Syd Barrett. The opening tune, you've heard the song. The opening, it sounds like someone's trying to tune a radio. Mm-hmm. That's actually David Gilmour tuning the radio on his own car. Recorded and mixed at Abbey Road Studio. And there's a story that when it was being mixed, there was a guy in the studio, and he had a shaven head and no eyebrows and looked kind of frumpy. And like, who the fuck is this guy? Turned out it was Syd Barrett. He was so unrecognizable. And wow. he was in the studio for maybe about a half hour before anyone kind of caught on who this guy really was.
It's a song that means a lot to me.
It in the right content, it could really make you cry, man. It is, unfortunately, it's a great death song, about missing somebody. It's a song that stands the test of time, and I never got bored hearing it.
Well, my last one, uh, I think is one of the greatest songs ever written. I think when you use the word masterpiece, that gets thrown around a lot. This is a masterpiece. This is an opus. This is probably the most
Opus.
diverse, eclectic hit song of all time, and I went with Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh yeah.
I
Again,
mean, it's just a pure masterpiece. And I mean, you've heard the story about how they almost lost the tape.
that I didn't know.
No, yeah. So again, back in the day, it was only analog. There's no such thing as digital. You had to overdub and redub everything like that. So with all the layering and the orchestra parts and the the harmonies and stuff like that, by the time they were done, they had the tape up and they were looking through the actual audio tape, and it was see through because it was recorded over so many times. So they had to they if they didn't go and make a copy immediately, that whole record would have been completely lost.
With the album or the just the song.
Just the single itself. So I mean, look, it was big then. You can't deny and say that Wayne's World did not make it 10 times bigger than it already was.
It blew it up to a different generation.
It blew it to a different stratosphere is what it did. I mean, I think it solidified it to become the song that it is just from that movie, which is very weird considering the song came out 20 years before that.
Yeah, it's probably a top 10 song of all time.
Oh, I would even go higher than that.
Yeah.
There's very few that are bigger than that.
I guess if we were just to throw, give me a band, give me their iconic song, throw it up against Bohemian Rhapsody, pretty hard to top it.
Yeah, there's going to be very few bands who can touch that.
Exactly. All right. So just before I get to my last one, I just want to throw an honorable mention, but you brought this up earlier. Before you mentioned the Bee Gees, and in 77, 78, there was no one who had runs like the Bee Gees. I don't know if you knew this, but they basically dominated. They had 4 consecutive #1 songs. And we're not talking about a week on the charts. We're talking about a song like Night Fever, 2 months on the charts. And Night Fever replaced a song that they wrote for their brother Andy Gibb, which was Blood is Thicker Than Water, which was 8 weeks on the charts. And then when Night Fever got knocked off the charts, it was knocked off by an Yvonne Elliman song, which they wrote called If I Can't Have You. And then
I don't want nobody, baby.
Right, yeah. And then after that, it was replaced by the song that you picked, Staying Alive.
Yeah.
So you just cannot measure, like, for that end of the 70s, just how massive the Bee Gees was.
Do you say they're one of the 3 biggest bands of the 70s?
Easy.
Yeah. I would agree with that. I would probably go Zeppelin. I would go Zeppelin, Sabbath, and them, I would say.
As far as chart success, I don't know if anyone is touching them. Really, it wasn't until the Bodyguard soundtrack came along where it replaced Saturday Night Fever soundtrack as the best-selling album of all time.
It's still something I can play every day, too. I just love that record.
Saturday Night Fever soundtrack?
Yeah.
So for me, my last one is probably an artist that, I guess I used to listen to, I listened to gay stuff. I listened to the Partridge Family and the Archies. And then, like,
Rush.
I think, stop it. You have no idea what you're talking about. I mean, I should have put Rush on here, and I could have put every Rush song ever written in the 70s on this list, but I didn't. Okay, I could have just put the album 2112 on it, end of conversation. But okay, to do this list justice, I had to put like an artist that really, like, when I heard this song, I felt it was like one of the big first, like, sensitive songs I really loved. I just really connected with, and it was Elton John's "Your Song," written in 1970. It was his breakthrough hit. And think about this, man. Think about, like, songwriting on a different level. Bernie Taupin, who was Elton John's principal songwriter, wrote the song at the age of 17 years old. He writes the lyrics. And he writes the lyrics at Elton John's mother's table. In the movie Rocket Man, it's kind of depicted, and it's not 100% accurate, but it's kind of close, where they're at the table, and Bernie Taupin says, here are the lyrics. I'm going upstairs to shave. And then Elton takes the lyrics, sits down at a piano, and in 20 minutes writes the music, and then they have this monster hit. Now, originally, it wasn't going to be an Elton John, Bernie Taupin song. It was sold and recorded to Three Dog Night. But when Elton John, never released, because they recorded it, released it, and Elton John blew up after it, and they're like, "This is an ascending artist. We're not going to step on it," and they never released the song.
Wow, interesting. I call that the anti-Jeff song.
Your song is the anti-Jeff song?
Yeah, because sometimes I want to think about how wonderful life is with you in the world, but I just can't do that.
Such an asshole. All right, so we do have some people checking in, and I think these are some interesting choices here. Roy Mackey checks in with Rock and Roll by Led Zeppelin.
Okay.
I get this one. Brain Damage, Pink Floyd. You have to. This guy he also went with Queen, but do you know the song 39? The Brian May song. Fantastic.
Mm-hmm. No.
I thought this was also kind of a weird pick. He did pick Sabbath, but you'll never guess the songs. Wheels of Confusion / The Straightener.
Okay.
Yeah. These are his best songs of the 70s. Kill the King, Rainbow.
Yeah, you went a little deep.
Yeah, but then these two, I mean, I get. Layla, Derek and the Dominoes, I would have considered that. I mean, especially with Dwayne Allman on slide guitar on that. Go Your Own Way, Fleetwood Mac. Interesting that he throws that in that group.
Yeah, that was a band I had a toy with about putting on the list too, because I think it's another 70s, sound band.
Your boy Jeff Lawrence also picked Bohemian Rhapsody. He goes, that was 7 songs, right? Yeah. Joe Milanis picks Beast of Burden. I thought this was a good list. Buddy Flip, he checks in with Brandy by Looking Glass. You know that song?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. God Save the Queen, Sex Pistols. The Edison Lighthouse, Love Grows Where My Rosemary Goes. Do you know that song?
What the fuck is that?
You definitely know that song. Love grows where our rosemary goes, and nobody knows but me. No, okay, good song. Oh Babe, What Would You Say by Hurricane Smith. You know Hurricane Smith.
Buddy Flip goes a little deep.
We Won't Get Fooled Again by The Who. And Beach Baby by First Class. Do you know that song?
Yes, unfortunately.
And Life's Been Good by Joel Walsh. I never liked that song. Former guest who we just had on, Tim Grill, went with Riders on in the Storm. Never was a fan of those. Okay. Baba O'Reilly, The Who, great song. Okay. More Than a Feeling, Boston, Smart Man. Aerosmith, Dream On, okay. Brown Sugar, Rolling Stones. He picked one of your songs, Hotel California, Eagles, and Dust in the Wind.
That's like a fucking now I call this now I listen to classic rock volume 62 that you buy at fucking on TV. That's Tim Grill's whole CD right there.
But this interesting list, and this was incredibly hard to do.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, so guys, are you starting to see a theme here? We did best 6 of the 60s. We did 7 of the 70s. What do you think we're doing next? And we have a special treat for the next one. Our producer, Adam Holtz, is going to chime in. He's going to give us his list as well as we go 8 for the 80s on the next episode. Also, the 200th episode is out there. I'll start blasting it and tell us what you think. Anyway, anything you want us to end with, Sean?
No, I'm looking forward to the 80s because this is going to be my decade to take over this fucking podcast. So
that's good. Good luck trying to find 8 songs from the 80s. That's another list that's going to be hard to pad down.
Yep, I agree.
All right, man. Guys, give us a share, give us a subscribe, and tell us what you think. Till next time, everybody. Take care, everyone.
Later.